This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky. Can you allow yourself to become new in every moment? This is just one of many thoughtful and compelling questions that Laurie Seymour asks as part of her inspired project, the Baca Journey. Laurie Seymour, thank you so much for joining me here on 8 Minutes of Awesome.
You are welcome, Jennifer, and thank you for inviting me.
I would love for you to share with people about the Baca Journey.
The Baca Journey started as a homage, in a sense, to my teacher who passed about 8 years ago. Uh, and deeper than that, it is really a reflection of everything that my life has been about for all of my adult life. And that is the journey to connecting with a deeper picture and a deeper reality of our potential. People say that there is that we use 10% of our potential. And that to me is always felt crazy. Um, Crazy in the sense that, well, what is it about that? Where is that other 90%? How do I connect with that? How do I access that? And for me, that took me into the journey to go into psychotherapy. Not as certainly doing my own therapy, but to become a psychotherapist. And I spent many years in the practice of psychotherapy, in the study of what is it that we bring to life, how do we interact with life, and then how do we open to that bigger picture. And as I started opening to that bigger picture more deeply, more regularly, and spending more time there and studying in different kinds of ways and receiving energy that allowed and opened that possibility up within me, my experience was that I couldn't any longer do psychotherapy. I had to leave that whole field because I saw that there were things that were possible that that practice, that way of looking at myself, way of looking at others didn't allow for. And that really was the sense that we're not broken. We don't have to focus on what needs to be fixed. That's not my passion. My passion is what's the unknown and how do we journey towards that? How do we connect in it? And then how do we bring that into everyday life? And that's been the work of, or the focus of the Baca Journey, and the Friday Focus perspective, or the project of that has been to put out something each week that people can use as a way to journey inside themselves, as a way to ask themselves a question and spend time with it. Let it savor, let it simmer within them until there's something that they can connect with that's brand new within themselves.
Right, that they can really own. The answer is their own. And they have to kind of come to that conclusion themselves, like you said, by letting it kind of simmer and come up. And I love the Friday focus that you do. They're always really good and really, really compelling questions. I'm curious, in what way do you get inspired each week
Mm.
to bring those questions forward?
That's a good question. Usually it's from within my own life or what I'm seeing around me, what I'm hearing from students or clients that they're questioning, they're struggling with. My whole focus is on the inner teacher and that the answers are within. And so I'm asking questions that will hopefully uncover the patterns that people are dealing with, the ways in which they could perhaps look at something a little differently. All of the sensing of the process of understanding inner law, understanding how life works. And I've spent the last 30 years focused on that. And so my inspiration comes from all of that, which is the vastness of possibility. And what I do each week is to spend some time quietly, spend some time inside, and to ask, what is it that needs to be shared this week? What is the focus for this week? I do that every day for my day, but for the Friday focus, that's where that inspiration comes from. What is it that needs to be addressed that will connect with people in that bigger way?
Beautiful. And I know this is such a heart project for you. It really is from the very core of you. And part of that very core is an enormous amount of joy. I know that you carry a lot of joy in your everyday. I would like for you to share some recent experience of something that really filled you with joy.
Hmm. I think I could speak about so many different things, but the most really intense experience most recently for me took place in Paris recently. Well, in a couple of places within France recently, where it wasn't just that daily joy, which there is, in looking at the beauty of a child laughing, the moment of connecting with another person. But this was several days really of profound experiences of going to different places where I meditated and received incredible gifts that it, there was such joy, there was such a feeling of unconditional love that came with that. And I felt like every cell in my body was being transformed. And so uh, I've come back from that experience with a feeling of joy, yes, but also of great inner space, of the void, of feeling of, I don't really know who I am right now. I don't know what the next step is. And so tomorrow, or Friday Focus, when it comes out, is really about that. And so that came directly from, how is it when everything is unfamiliar? What do you do? And
Mm,
can you be with that?
mm,
Can you believe that? Because that's where the experience of joy in a moment can come in, where the expectations of how life is supposed to be, of it's supposed to uh, bring you a certain thing or act in a certain way, or my partner is supposed to be with me in a certain way, letting all of that go and all of those expectations and the willingness to receive, the willingness to
mm.
receive what's here in this moment. That's so
Right.
big.
It is so big. And the what is coming to me is kind of almost like a connected expansiveness.
That's a
And
beautiful phrase.
when you were talking about that, it also sounds like um, it could feel a little overwhelming to some people sometimes. And so I would like you to share, in those moments of where you're like, wow, this is amazing, but also, wow, this feels very fresh and new. How do you stay kind of allowing yourself to enter and explore that space?
That's exactly what I think is so difficult and easy at the same time. I mean, first of all, it's staying with the breath. The breath is what connects us with life. And if we simply focus, not in any, what I want to say, crafted way, but simply in the awareness of the breath coming in, filling your body, and going back out. There's an exchange in that. There's a simplicity in that. But the breath knows exactly what to do in the body, and we don't ever have to know. So there's something about that as a metaphor as well as a reality that keeps me grounded in the vastness of space. And when I start to try and fill that feeling of, oh my God, this is overwhelming, with some kind of construct, like I have to understand it, it goes to pieces. That's not the way of staying with it. It's the sense of, give it real physical time, give it space to unfold, know that it will, trust that it will. And for me, that's the experience of feeling that connection with yourself in such a profound way that you come to trust that inner relationship. So the next step of that is starting to ask questions. Is there something of yourself? Is there something I'm to know about this? What is it I'm to understand? Is there a picture that comes? Is there more I'm needing to know about that picture? Is there something I'm needing to be with to support the manifestation of this picture? So it's all of those kind of questions that you can ask of yourself in order to deepen the experience and start to find the ground within that expansiveness.
Mm.
Does
Really,
that help?
yeah, absolutely. Really good suggestions. And I would like to know, within all of that, if there was one message for people to hear from you just today, what would that message be?
That the inner teacher is alive and well within you and wants to be there every step of the way with you. You simply have to allow it. You have to be willing to surrender to it. And surrender in the sense of receiving. Surrender, that's what surrender is. I know I mentioned that to some people and they get very upset with the idea of surrender, equating it with giving up. But surrender is about receiving from something so much bigger than you might ever conceive of. And so that's probably the bottom line for me is that it is so much bigger. And hallelujah.
Yeah, oh, a beautiful message. And for those that would like to reach out and connect with Laurie personally, you can do so at her website, thebacajourney.com. Laurie Seymour, thank you so much for sharing with me today.
My pleasure, Jennifer. Thank you for your time today and for your willingness to create this project.